And this is a cool exercise. See if you guys can do this. Can you create your positioning, your bucket, your category in one graphic? If you had to do it in one graphic, what would that look like? And this is where your artistic things, artistic creativity comes in. Even if it's just a piece of paper, even if it's a whiteboard, workshopping out what it is, what does this look like graphically? So for us, it was like we're taking the best of all these different bars and putting it into one super bar, where we have greens and fruit and organic almond butter and cashew and the protein and the fiber, all the stuff in one bar. We're taking all the best. This was visually our idea for owning this bucket. Can you do that in your market? If you can, that's when the magic happens. This is what it looks like with our Freedom brand, with the recurring revenue. Right? This idea that we have this like kind of Netflix for recurring revenue, all captured in one graphic, all the different things they get. Subscription boxes, how to get new subscribers, and how to create newsletters and membership sites. Can you create it in one graphic? And finally, step 3. So the first B was what? Baby. Your baby. Second B? You guys are good. Third B? Your brand. I did this last on purpose. This is where everyone starts. Everyone starts with their brand and the logos, right? They spend hours and hours or thousands of dollars on their logo. You know, could you move this thing over, the red over? That doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter until you have those first 2 things down, until you know what bucket you're going to own, because otherwise it doesn't matter, right? So first thing is, what's the vibe of your brand? The feel. So with Freedom, it's like very straightforward, kind of no BS, kind of like I am, right? We're just going to tell you it like it is. Friendly, we try to have fun. I want you guys to laugh. I got no laugh there. But I just want it to be kind of fun and relaxed and using my personality, right? If you're a 65-year-old grandmother and you're teaching knitting, like you're probably not going to be like me. You're going to be more soothing and relaxing. So don't try to be like someone else. Be you. If you're a hardcore fitness boot camp military instructor, then own it. But you got to know what your vibe is. Are you more friendly? Are you approachable? Are you high-end? Are you science-y? Are you serious? How would people describe you if they weren't in the room with you? What would they say about you? That's what your brand is. And own it. Whatever it is, do it. Just know where you're playing and know what your story is, especially with the personal brand. This was so that was a few years ago, but I went through all these ups and downs with my health, where I used to be a fitness pro and I had my master's in exercise physiology, and I created this fitness video like 15 years ago. It's called The World's Fastest Workout. It's my 4-minute workouts. And then I had my first kid, and then my second kid, and then in 2007, my third kid, 2009, my fourth. And what happens when you have kids, right? They have the chicken fingers. Like, I'll have a little chicken finger here, a couple of fries, 1 pound, 2 pounds. All of a sudden, I'm almost 200 pounds. And last February, we came back from vacation, and I wore my pants going down to Florida. Coming back, I go to put the same pants on. I go to my wife, did you like dry clean these? She goes, what the hell are you talking about? We're at the hotel. I didn't touch your pants. I'm like, fuck, they don't fit anymore. And I came home and I had a sinus infection. I went to the doctor and I stepped in the scale and they said, you're almost pre-hypertensive. And my weight and my autoimmune started to flare up again and my joints were killing me. I'm like, that's it. I said, I need to get my health back. So it was my story, my transformation, and that's when this new company started to come up because I couldn't find a good bar. I couldn't find, because I knew I had to win the morning. That was the key. So it was a personal story, and I've lost, so since then, about 35 pounds. Like I'm back to the same weight and pant size I was back in high school. Just by doing simple things. There's no fad diet, there's nothing crazy, it's simple. But that was the story behind this new health company. What's your story? And a lot of us bury our story. We bury our story and we make it all about the company when you can infuse your personality, and you should infuse your personality. Why? And I don't mean to pick on you. What was your name?
Fabian.
Fabian. What made you get, because you said you've been in insurance for 22 years?
16.
So you must have started when you were like 3 years old. Because there's no way you're like in your 40s. You may have to be, almost, jeez. What made you get into insurance?
Educating people. That was really, I got a reward.
Let's go deeper. Why else? Was there a reason, like financially? You're like, because you had to be young. You had to be.
I was young, so the money was not really a factor. You know, I lived at home, parents paid the rent. You know, I didn't have to worry about bills.
Okay.
I got a satisfaction out of interacting with people and problem solving.
Do you know someone you've worked with? Is there anyone you've helped and they had a really tough issue they went through, and because of your insurance, you've helped them?
Right, yes.
So now we could also start taking not only our own story, but stories of our best clients and highlight them. Because it's not always just about you, it's about highlighting your best members and clients and case studies. A lot of time we make it too much about us. You can tell your story, but elevate the people you help. All of us have helped someone in some way, shape, or form. Make them part of the story. And be consistent with your branding, with your messaging, with your voice. If you write an email, or if you do a video, and you sent it 3 months ago, and you read it or watch it now, you should say, okay, that still sounds like me. If it doesn't, there's a problem. You're not being consistent. My voice from a year ago still sounds like it does today. And there's a rhythm to you and your voice and your marketing. It's about consistency. It really is. Now, I don't buy into the whole, I know there's this whole methodology in entrepreneurship now. Hustle, 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 right? Grind 24 hours a day, and you will be successful. And by the way, I know actually, about a year and a half ago, I've spoken now twice on the same stage. This guy, Gary Vaynerchuk, I don't know if you know who he is. And he's a great guy, but he's really into like grinding and hustling. I'm like, Gary, I don't really agree with you with that, because you could be grinding and hustling but doing the wrong thing, right? You got to be strategic. You got to be strategic in your hustle and your grind, and you got to make sure you're doing the right thing, and you have to be consistent, okay? So consistency is important, and not stopping. You can't stop. You have to stay on message and keep going with it. So with us, with the brand, with Rewind, I'm infusing my love of like kind of retro 80s, 90s kind of thing. This is our box. So the bars are going to be in the box that looks kind of like a boombox. So we're kind of leaning into that fun. That's our brand, right? Fun, retro, hip, kind of 80s, 90s feel. That doesn't mean that's going to be yours. You have to figure out what your thing is. But notice the consistency with the color, with the look, with the feel. People my age, the Gen X, people in the 40s and 50s are going to vibe with that, right? It's not really aimed towards millennials, and that's okay. You have to know who you're for and who you're not for. It's fine. We can't serve everybody. We can't. You just got to own your thing and then have fun with it too. Does anyone know what song this is from? What song? But what song?
Smooth Criminal.
Smooth Criminal. You've been hit that. Smooth Criminal. Again, if you don't know that, you're not my market. It's fine. It's fine. But have fun with your branding, with your themes, with your colors, and make sure it all ties in and know who you're speaking to and be real. So I just filmed this, and it was about 2 hours ago. I was on the track waiting for my daughter since I was there a half hour early. I'm like, shit. I don't want to stand there and watch her like a lunatic. She'll kill me. So I'm just walking around the track, and I did a Facebook Live. And I'm taking them behind the scenes of how we're building Rewind. And I'm calling it Behind the Rewind. And I was real. I said, look, we were supposed to launch in 3 days. We're not because of the pea protein. Here's the issue. And if you have challenges, because look, life's going to kick us, right? And if you're an entrepreneur, everyone glorifies it. It's the greatest. There's nothing better. Absolutely. It's also the hardest effing thing in the world. There's nothing harder. Nothing harder. I know people that have served in the military and said being an entrepreneur is 10 times harder. It is the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life because you're always having challenges and setbacks every single day. You just have to get up. You got to get up. So that's what I talked about today. Just being real. Everyone is so fake and so phony and so glossy, and everything's great and everything's awesome. And people don't have the connection when you're so fake and full of shit.